Capitol Hill, we're very pleased to have the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Republican Senator Bob Corker of Tennessee.
And here on set, we have Bloomberg Politics' Mark Halperin, the New York Times' Jeremy Peters, and news and finance anchor at Yahoo, Bianna Goldriga.
Senator, it's always great to have you here. We played a clip of course, John McCain, and then the reaction to John McCain. You have that war of words going on. You had what many consider to be, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it seemed you considered the letter with 47 senators signing it perhaps ill-advised at the time, and yet you have somehow managed to keep your legislation on track. It's a pretty remarkable achievement in these times. How have you done it?
Well, first of all, I'm glad to be on with this distinguished group. But look, Joe, as you know, you've been around here. No one should ever count their chickens before they hatch. We have reached a bipartisan agreement that keeps the congressional review process absolutely intact, full of integrity. And look, this is the rightful role for Congress. Congress put in place these sanctions, Joe, as you know well. We're the ones that brought Iran to the table. And so we want to make sure, you've heard the war of words. What is the agreement? On behalf of the American people, we want to make sure that if a final deal is reached, it lays before Congress. We have the opportunity to go through every detail, including, by the way, the classified annexes that you're so familiar with, that we have the right to vote to approve or disapprove. And in the event there is a deal that goes on, we have the right to know that Iran is complying, and we have the ability to take actions if they're not. So I would think every American would want to make sure that someone on their behalf is ensuring that that is the case.
Senator, it's almost surreal hearing a debate, a heated debate, about what's in a deal that none of us really know what's in yet because it's not June the 30th. I'm going to ask you, as the most powerful voice in foreign relations in the Senate today, do you know what's in the deal yet?
I don't think we really know. I mean, look, Joe, this is, as you know, at this point sort of conversational. In other words, nothing has been signed, nothing is in writing. And look, it's natural that Iran is trying to spin the best details of it to their audience, and the same thing's happening here and the other countries involved. But what's important is when they get to the actual written deal, we're able to go through that with a fine-tooth comb on behalf of the American people. So at this point, look, what's happening, Joe, you know what this is. This is sort of the negotiation before the negotiation, right? And the real negotiation begins and is taking place over the next 80 days. And that's why it's so important that Congress have the ability to review this, to vote on it, and to be able to stay involved. Remember North Korea. We didn't stay involved. And as you know, North Korea has now access, has a nuclear weapon, and the ability to deliver it because we didn't stay involved to ensure that they complied. That's another important element of this legislation that I hope today at 2:15 is going to pass on a strong bipartisan basis.
Well, the Hill reports that the bill will sail through the committee. Senator, let me ask you this. We have this additional sort of twist, and that's Russian President Vladimir Putin approving the delivery of a sophisticated air defense missile system to Iran. How should the administration handle this, and how does this potentially muck up this multinational framework with Iran?
Yeah. So look, Mika, I think this speaks to the significant complexities here, and again, the reason for us to be involved in the way that we are. But look, we've got a group, P5+1, Russia and China are components of that don't necessarily have the same goals nor the same relationships with Iran. And so, look, I want us to have, by the way, a successfully negotiated agreement with Iran. But obviously, you know, our partner, quote, 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 Russia, certainly is making this very, very difficult, as they have in other parts of the world.
Yeah, okay, so, and as he was referring, by the way, panel, to that August panel that he's speaking to, he was, of course, speaking to the one New York Times reporter
I just
here.
wish I could see you. That's right.
Well,
that's right.
You know, you can feel the love. But we toss over to Jeremy Peters, who, with the New York Times, who he was obviously talking about.
Obviously, right.
Good
morning,
right.
Senator. I wonder if the changes that you are making to the Iran bill, if you believe that those will be sufficient enough to address the White House concerns, or is a veto inevitable?
Well, I don't know. You know, by the way, I know they've made comments that somehow they have been working with me. I can tell you nothing could be further from the truth. I've had no conversations about the substance of this bill with any principal, whether it be the president, Secretary Kerry, or others.
Why is that, Mr. Chairman? Have you requested a discussion?
Look, Ben Cardin's been a great partner, as has Chairman Menendez, Tim Kaine. All of them have been outstanding, as are our Republican members. I mean, we've kept this, from my perspective, at that level. But look, I think you've seen them making some comments recently. I think they see this possibly, who knows? We may fail today in committee. I don't think so. I don't ever, the next step is successful passage. I think we're going to be there today. But the fact is, I think they're beginning to see momentum around this very common sense piece of legislation, and therefore they're beginning to act as if, I don't know what they're going to do. We'll see.
Senator, how strongly are you going to push for the provision that Iran must recognize Israel's right to exist? You know, that's something that Netanyahu is pushing for, Marco Rubio as well.
Yeah. I think we have, it's my understanding, and we finished up last night at 11:30, but it's my understanding that we've added some language that accommodates the concerns that were expressed.
Mark Halperin.
Senator, what's the best argument to conclude this deal with Iran?
What's the best argument to conclude it?
To make it happen, for a deal. What's the best argument?
Yeah, look, I would think that every American would want us to successfully end this through negotiations. I mean, that's what our strength and might as a nation is about, and that is to be able to have that to back up strong diplomatic solutions. And so, look, the fact is, this is one of the most important things, as I've mentioned, that we will deal with during my time here in the Senate and others. The question is, are we so apt, are we so desirous of getting a deal that we lose all of this tremendous leverage that through the years we've put in place? And that's the concern. And the clip that you played earlier, expresses some of the frustrations around that. And look, I have to be honest, I have listened to how we're going to deal with the covert side. This is all, of course, verbal at this point. No one trusts Iran. And there's significant concern about their ability to still develop through covert activities, and even the negotiators be unaware of that. They are the biggest exporter of terrorism in the region, and all of you know that. And for us to conclude a bad deal is worse than just staying where we are with the JPOA in place and waiting until the time is right to get something that will stand the test of time.
All right, Senator. Well, I think ironically, this bill, ironically for the White House, as much as they oppose it, your bill, the Democratic support, makes it more likely that a deal can be done. I want to ask you finally a political question about your home state of Tennessee, and it's something that I don't quite understand, and I'm serious here. It's going to sound like a softball, but I am actually curious. Tennessee is
I love softballs. Thank you.
Okay, well, Tennessee has become more conservative. It's one of the few states that actually gave Mitt Romney a higher percentage of the vote in 12, I think, than Barack Obama got in 8, or that McCain got in 8. And yet, you're striking deals with Democrats and working with Democrats. Lamar Alexander has stood out doing the same thing. Bill Frist was always seen as somebody that could strike a deal. And this is, of course, the state of Howard Baker. And I'm serious.
Right.
A state that's turning more red every day is producing senators that are actually reaching out more than most senators on either side of the aisle. What is it about Tennessee's political culture that breeds that?
Well, excepting me, of course, I do think our state has bred leaders here on the national level, by the way, on both sides of the aisle. But look, we're a state that wants to see results. It's very pragmatic. People believe that you should pay for things as you go. It is very conservative in that regard, which I 1,000% agree with, and that's why I get so frustrated with people up here who believe that conservative means spending money but not paying for it. But our state has always been a very pragmatic state that wants to put our national interest above all. And it is a tremendous privilege for me to represent a state like Tennessee that puts their priorities in that regard. It's very patriotic. It's the volunteer state. And I believe the state of Tennessee wants people who are willing to risk all of their political capital to move our nation ahead. And I'm privileged to be in a position to hopefully do that now.
All right, softball caught beautifully.
Oh, stop it.
Bob Corker. Thank you so much. It's great to have you on. See you soon. All right, coming up, how did China become an